So, you guys all know that I love to eat clean, and recently I've started exercise again, and Jon is my trainer here, and I love working out with him because he is a huge proponent on clean eating, and every time I leave my workout, he's telling me, keep it clean. So I really love that about him because it's not just about exercise, it's so much more than that, and he's extremely knowledgeable, so I'm gonna ask him some of the frequently asked questions that I get all the time about clean eating today. So first of all, so many women are afraid of healthy fats, and that's one of the big parts of eating paleo and Whole30. What do you have to say about incorporating healthy fats into your diet?
The biggest thing with healthy fats, guys, are fats. Number one, will not make you fat. Number two, for satiety and a feeling of fullness, you have to have quality fats in the diet. If they're not in there, you'll eat a meal even if it's clean and it may not make you full and you'll be ravagingly hungry again, okay? And then number three, cholesterol, which is the mother of all hormones downstream, which ergo are gonna allow you to get leaner and have a more optimal body. They're all derivatives of having healthy fats in the diet. And so if you cut the fats off dietarily, you will see issues downstream hormonally as well.
Okay.
So eat fats to get lean.
I will. So a lot of runners and people that are used to exercising a lot have a hard time cutting grains out of their diets because they think that they need those grains for carbohydrates. How do you suggest people get carbohydrates without eating grains, and why are grains not necessary for performance?
So if I take you to an island and I leave you on a deserted island, I give you protein and fats only, I come back 1 year later, you'll be alive. If I leave you there, carbs, protein only, and 1 year later you may not be there. And the reason is because the only carbohydrate that is essential, guys, is fiber. That is the only essential carbohydrate dietarily, is fiber. So you need proteins, you need fats, and the research actually shows, especially for long distance endurance events, that you will perform better on a low fat, on a high fat diet, as that is one of the base derivatives for how you produce energy in those events. So that research also shows that you can reduce inflammation and increase insulin sensitivity, guys, which makes you leaner and recover faster from training. So as an athlete, you actually may perform better pulling the carbs back initially until you can handle them well, and in which case you can keep them in at maybe dinner, for example. That's my general recommendations to start.
Okay, and some of the healthy carbs that are grain-free that I like to incorporate in my diet are sweet potatoes, parsnips, carrots, and when I feel like I need extra carbs after exercising, I'll incorporate those in my dinners at night. So we've all heard that sugar is the devil, and I have noticed a huge difference in my mental clarity and just my lifestyle by cutting sugar out of my diet. Why do you think that sugar is so bad for us and for our performance as well?
The biggest thing with sugar, guys, is the glycemic index, okay? And that's just a ranking of how fast it's gonna raise your blood sugar level based against sugar. So sugar, for example, would be 100. And the thing is, guys, the higher spike you have, the faster drop you have, okay? And so sugar will give you energy momentarily, but it's also gonna cause a subsequent crash of energy. Well, when you have that crash of energy, that means your body's pulled the sugar out of the system very quickly because it was a large insulin release. And that makes you feel kind of lethargic, you don't have energy. And over time, that subsequent response of having a high boost and a fast drop is gonna cause weight gain. And one of the root causes of that is called insulin resistance. Basically, you keep calling the line and nobody's answering because you keep sending this large release of insulin at each meal from the sugar. So that's why you get those dips of energy. And so our general recommendation is, again, like healthy essential fats, quality protein, guys, are gonna cause a lower spike of blood sugar levels, okay? It's gonna be less of a spike, but it's gonna be longer lasting duration of time before you have a low blood sugar crash. So that's how you can kind of beat the sugar issues.
The sugar dragon.
Yep.
Run away from it. Okay, and my last question, which this is something that I struggle with. I love cheese. And I know a lot of women and men love cheese. And dairy, I can tell, really like makes me feel inflamed and not my best. What do you have to say about dairy?
So the thing with dairy is most people can't handle lactose, which is a derivative of milk, well, number one. Number two is they could actually be intolerant to the lactose in dairy itself, which is an autoimmune issue and it causes inflammation of the gut, okay? So milk and cheese products, number three, are very what's called insulinogenic, guys, and that means it spikes blood sugar very quickly, okay? So again, we're running into the issue of we're spiking our blood sugar levels, especially if it's, you don't probably just have milk or bread or cheese on its own. It's usually paired with something, yeah? Well, when you pair that with something, it's even a higher spike, guys, and when you have that high spike, you're gonna have a fast crash. And like when we do skin fold measurements, where you're gonna see this mostly is around the abdomen or waist. You will start seeing weight gain go up.
Yep.
So
we don't want that. So what about someone like me? I seem to carry my weight in my hips and my legs. What does that say about how I'm eating?
Legs are more correlated to total estrogens as well as environmental estrogens and your ability to detox them, guys. And so the number two things I would ask are how many cruciferous vegetables in a diet, because that helps with elimination of excess estrogens and toxins that may come in environmentally. Number two would be proteins, guys. For the liver to work optimally, you actually need all the amino acids, and that's why having full, complete proteins at each meal is key to success. Number three would actually be vitamin and mineral status. Our bodies are anything that we cannot get rid of, you store, okay? And in order for the first phase of the liver to work, you have to have every vitamin from A to Z. And so if you're missing something, that toxin is allowed to escape back into the system and it gets stored in fat. So those are some just basic ways that if you follow those three steps, you will see that you get leaner legs and arms. So
yeah, well, good. Well, I think that covers most of the frequently asked questions. And if you guys have any more, leave them in the comments, and we'll do another video sometime soon to answer some of you guys' questions.
All right, see you guys. I don't know, I just am not very eloquent behind the camera, but we'll see what I can say. Sometimes when I don't, well, I'm gonna give you lots of awkward stuff because that's what happens when I get behind the camera. So, this is running. It's on.
Okay.
Literally on.
See, this is why I don't do takes. I start jabbering. Okay, scratch that. Restart.
Yes.